All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. The honors unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone, peace and salutations unto the Akim, unto the elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of this earth, pushing this truth and faith and sincerity. I'm my brother Shema Allah from the GMS Houston camp. And this lesson is going to be entitled Resist the Self-Willed Spirit. Okay? And I want to get, a couple, definitions of self-willed, but basically, it's going to be about yourself, right? And your own motives and your own desires, and you only see it that way. And you think about, what is, best, for you. And the thing that we have to always remember that we are, part of a body, we are part of something bigger than ourselves, and that our particular motives and desires and what we want, that on the grand, scale of things, it does not matter. All right. And sometimes things that, we want, it goes, our way, but, you have to be okay when it doesn't. All right. You have to be okay because it's not about any one of us. Okay. Ultimately, this is about Yahweh Shai. Okay. So when you go into this word self-will, all right, it says, first, matter of fact, let's just get it here in Titus. So when you go into this, right, this is Paul setting up Titus in Crete. He's setting up, he's having him set up, the leaders and the bishops over here, right, in this church. And one of the requirements, for a bishop, okay, was not being self-willed. It says, for if a bishop, Titus 1:7, for if a bishop be blameless as the steward of the Most High, right? And like the bishop was the leader of the church, right? And the steward is someone who's managing affairs. And it says, not self-willed, right? Not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker, okay? Not given to filthy lucre. So one of it was being not self-willed, okay? And when you go here, self-willed, right? It says the term self-willed refers to someone who is governed by their own will and is often obstinate and determined to act according to their own decisions without yielding to the wishes or advice of others. So basically a stubborn person, right? They can only see it, how they want to see it. All right. And whatever anybody else got to say, it doesn't matter. All right, because the way they thinking is right and how they want to act and what's in their mind, right? That's the best possible thing, right, that could be done. It says it describes a person who is independent and willful, often prioritizing their own desires and opinions over external input. All right. So you prioritizing yourself. And you can't be that way, right? Because a lot of the guys that's like that, ended up being separated from this thing. All right. They have to go A, B by themselves since they want to be for themselves. All right. But yeah, another one, right? It says self-will, right? Determined to do what you want without caring, about other people. And then you don't got to be in the mindset of, oh man, yeah, it's what I want. Fuck everybody else. But the way that you behave, right, will say that. Your actions will say that. Okay. So we just always gotta, examine ourselves to make sure that we ain't being that way. Right. Being, for ourselves. All right. Self-will, right? Determined to base your actions on your own decisions without listening to the advice from other people. Okay. Stubborn, headstrong, all right, goes to be aggressive, persistent, unbending, so nobody can't tell you nothing. Adamant, all right, ultra serious, ultra competitive. All right. So you want to be a person, in this thing that's not being, for themselves and that can listen to others, and that's, not focus on yourself, but as the whole body, collectively. All right. Cause someone, like I said, it's like is that it's that it's self-will, right? He said they can't take any type of correction, all right, because the way that they formed it in their minds, right? It made sense to them, and you can't talk them out of that. All right, so when you correct them, they're not feeling that, right? Or they get an attitude, all right, or they shut down. They don't want to. They can't see it any other way. All right, these people, that often have that are self-willed, have a lot of pride. All right, they're boastful, you know, on how they think about themselves, and their own abilities. Okay, and this is the opposite of being, having humility. All right, you want to have that humility. You want to be teachable. You want to be coachable. You want to be, someone who another brother, can correct, because someone can correct you, and then it comes to the point where you become annoying. All right, because nobody can, tell you that you are wrong. All right, without you being mad or upset about it, you got to take the correction and the rebuke. All right, and just keep moving, keep fighting. All right, because a lot of times it's not even nothing serious, bro. All right, you just got to keep going, man, and not take things, too personal. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 13:4. It says, Charity suffer long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity, vaunted not itself. It's not puffed up. Okay. It says, doeth not behave itself unseemly, seek it not her own. In this chapter is going to having charity. And if you don't have charity, you have nothing else. All right. And nothing else matters if you don't have charity. But it says charity seek it not her own. So charity is not about itself. All right. That's for me. That's for anybody that's a part of this thing. It ain't about you. And once you make it about you, you will stand out, because that's not the spirit of the body. So when you got a different spirit on you, people gonna notice that. All right. And you will get called out for it. Okay. It ain't about, what you think is better. You know, it's like it's okay to have, opinions. It's okay to have, you may have a thing, a better way, maybe, of doing something, right? And you may bring it, to the body. Okay, those things are fine. All right, but when you in the mindset of we have to do this, y'all gotta listen to me. All right, this is correct. This is the way. And then, oh man, brothers don't understand me, man. All right, you don't want to be in that spirit, bro. You don't want to be in that spirit. All right. But it says, Philippians 2:3, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not on look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let his mind be in you, which is in Yahweh Shai. So you can't just focus on yourself. You got to think about the body and the men that are around you as well. All right. It's not just about what you want. All right. It's about the body. That's what you always got to remember. You cannot put yourself before this thing. That's not how it works. All right. I think there's something in here that I wanted to look up. Maybe. Let me see. Others, but others, I think it might have been back here, 1 Corinthians 13. Let's see. All right, vaunting, basically going into boasting about yourself. Because I got a word pulled up over here, but I don't remember which word I got it from. But it goes into factiousness. If I can't find it, I'm just gonna pull the word up. Maybe it was self-willed back here in Titus 1:7. Maybe it was self-willed. Oh, give me a second. Let me find it. All right, so it was in Philippians, the 2nd chapter, right? When you look up this verse, it says, "Let nothing be done through strife." Okay, it says the desire to put oneself forward. This is all that's on your mind, is for yourself. And it says a partnership, factiousness. Now, when you go to factiousness, characterized by or promoting internal dissension. See synonyms: insubordinate. And what does it mean to be insubordinate? Not submissive to authority. All right. So you have this thing in your mind about putting yourself first. All right, putting your own desires. And when that doesn't happen, you try to stir dissension and speaking to certain people that you may trust, right? Oh man, I don't agree with this, man. What you think about that? All right, and you kind of like pushing your own beliefs and your own feelings and emotions on someone else. And this is how it starts, how people, end up, you know, um, start, slandering, backbiting, and end up, getting put out, and they end up starting their own thing, right, with the people that they was talking to. This always happens. This always happens, man. All right. So, man, that's really what the lesson was about, man. Not being self-willed, all right, but being about the body, being humble, all right, being about the camp, okay. That's the main thing. That should be, that should be the focus. The primary thing should be this truth. There should be the brothers, the brotherhood, right? Charity. Okay. Not what you want, not what you think should happen. All right. You gotta be, rebukable. Somebody gotta be able to correct you. Right? You gotta be able to be talked to. You gotta be able to hear the points and the things of others. All right. Because the Lord gave the spirit to us all. All right. He gave gifts to all of us to minister with. All right. So you gotta, leave it open for somebody else to use their gift as well, and not just think you just got the ultimate. All right, the ultimate gift. Okay, the ultimate whatever, and you just above everybody. No. Okay. That's far from the truth. All right. Anybody think that, they're delusional. But hope this lesson was edifying. With that, I'm saying shalom.